I'd like to talk about forgiveness. I've been making a series of videos on non-judgment, and forgiveness is a very similar subject because we've already made a judgment that we're suffering, and now we need to forgive the judgment that we've already made in order to feel better. And this is the most important thing to me about forgiveness, is that when we forgive someone else, then we have been relieved the energy of judgment, and we are the ones that benefit the most from that forgiveness, just in the same way that we are the ones that benefit the most if we are able to not make that negative judgment against the other in the first place. So forgiveness is really always of ourselves. Now, it seems complicated because there's someone else or some other organization, group involved in our judgment and in our forgiveness. But there really isn't in terms of the process of judgment and in the process of forgiveness, because both of them are in relationship to ourself. So if something happens, let's keep it simple and have the one other person has done something that has negatively affected me, then that's the relationship. They have had some effect on me. I don't like it, and so I judge them as being wrong for having taken that action. But as I've discussed in a video on non-judgment, there really aren't any clear lines in the absolute sense of what's right and what's wrong. Everything is in a relationship. What is wrong for me is only what I cannot forgive in myself. So, for example, let's say someone, through lack of planning, has negatively affected my life. Either my needs or desires are no longer being met because someone else's lack of planning and actions that would allow me to continue to have what I need and want. Well, if lack of planning for myself, for my own actions, is something that I'm comfortable with in terms of the success rate of those plans and actions, then I'm probably going to be comfortable with someone else's so-called mistakes when they affect me. So if I'm really finding that it's difficult to forgive myself for actions that have negatively affected my current situation, let's say I didn't plan enough about how I'm going to live when I move to a certain place or something like that, then if that negatively affects me, then I'll feel bad about myself. I'll say, darn, I am just not good enough, because if I was good enough, I would not be in this situation. I would have planned better. I would have taken the appropriate actions. I would have what I need and want right now if I had just done this, that, and the other thing. Well, if we have that tendency with ourselves, then we are going to tend to have that same judgment with our relationships with others. And the other side of that coin is, let's say I'm more comfortable with this area of planning and taking care of the future, such that if the situation that I'm in right now, of my own making, is one that I really don't like so much, I could have done better, so to speak, in the past to create the situation that I'm in right now, and so that I would like it more, then if I just say to myself, well, I did the best I could when I neglected to do certain things that would have made my life better now, and it's really a forgivable thing. It's unfortunate that my situation is not ideal now, and it's unfortunate that I could have planned better, I could have taken better actions to make my life the way I want it now, but it's okay. I'm okay with those actions. I'm okay with that lack of planning. I'm okay with my situation right now. And I forgive myself, or even better, I don't need to forgive myself for my situation that I'm in right now, because I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't do everything in this theoretical way that we have in our minds that would have theoretically made things better for me now. Planning, taking actions to make sure that my life is comfortable and my needs are met. And so all forgiveness is of the self, because if a certain type of error or action or lack of action through poor planning, time management, whatever it is that we are concerned with in a particular judgment, if we're comfortable with it for ourselves, then we'll probably be comfortable with it in relationship with someone else having an effect on us. So it's, where are we drawing the line? What type of behaviors that we're uncomfortable with in ourselves? Why are we uncomfortable with those behaviors? Why have we drawn that line in the sand? If you do these behaviors, well, I'm okay with them. I'm not going to hold a negative judgment and have it negatively affect my day, because it's a small thing and I'm comfortable with that. But if you do these other things, you've crossed my line of acceptability, of judgment, then I have to have a problem with that. I make the judgment, and now I have the challenge that I need to forgive you. I'm really forgiving myself for having that line that you've crossed. I'm forgiving myself for a tendency to judge on that particular type of behavior. It's the type of behavior that we're dealing with, not the other person, really. Because if they did something that was acceptable to us, we'd be fine. But if we can accept ourselves and any behavior that we make, we're probably going to be able to accept the other and any behavior that they make, because it's really all about where we're drawing that line in the sand, and if there's even a line in the sand at all. So I do recommend that you check out my videos on non-judgment, and because they're very related to the area of forgiveness, and I'm sure there will be more videos on forgiveness forthcoming. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel so that you can see future videos and get notifications on them. Please leave questions and comments below.